Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're going to be looking at all the latest and greatest tech news from TechViews10X.
Sounds good.
We've got AI romances gone wrong.
Oh.
Yeah, giant LED screens, and even a deep dive into the ending of Captain America, Brave New World.
Sounds like a lot to cover.
It is, so let's just jump right in. So what are you seeing as some of the major trends in this news cycle? Any big takeaways?
Well, AI is definitely still the main topic, but it feels like we're shifting away from all the initial hype and moving towards these more practical questions.
Okay.
Like, how much does this cost? How secure is this? Is it even ethical?
Yeah, that makes sense. And speaking of cost, this whole AI Valentine's Day thing is kind of crazy. People are spending hundreds of bucks on digital flowers and virtual chocolates. What's the deal with that?
Yeah, it seems like companies are trying to, capitalize on how new AI is, but they haven't really thought about, what it really means.
Yeah.
Would you want an AI writing your love letters? That just seems weird.
It's definitely a little strange. And it kind of makes you think about, privacy, too.
Exactly.
Who has access to all this information?
Yeah, it's like we're jumping into the pool without even, checking if there's water first.
Exactly. And we're seeing that same, move fast and break things thing in the gaming world, too. Nvidia is delaying the release of its RTX 5000 GPU.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which has a lot of PC gamers, freaking out.
I bet.
Especially because AMD is about to reveal its RX 9070. It's like a super high-stakes poker game.
Yeah.
Where each company's trying to, one-up each other.
Yeah, it's a high-stakes game for sure.
Yeah, it's a poker game with, a buy-in of a small country's GDP.
Yeah.
So while we're talking about gaming, did you see that the PS5 had a, massive quarter?
I did. It's crazy.
Almost 10 million units sold.
Yeah.
Is this the console generation that finally, breaks the bank?
That's a good question. We're seeing these incredible advancements.
Right. But it comes at a cost.
Totally. How much are people really willing to shell out? What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, let us know.
Hopefully it doesn't get to the point where you need to, take out a loan for a controller.
Yeah, that would be rough.
So speaking of things that, could break the bank, did you hear about the Final Fantasy iOS game shutting down?
Oh, yeah, that was a surprise.
Yeah. It really makes you think about the value, for people who invest all this time and money into these games.
For sure.
Nothing lasts forever.
Yeah.
Especially in the digital world.
Exactly. It's like death, taxes, and server shutdowns.
Pretty much. So let's shift gears a bit and talk about the streaming wars because things are heating up again.
Uh-oh.
Netflix is denying Apple TV app integration.
Oh, wow.
Which is a bold move.
It is.
It's almost like they're saying, we're good enough on our own, thanks.
We don't need you.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's the best strategy, though. I don't know. It's hard to say. There are so many platforms out there now.
Right.
I wonder if they can really afford to alienate viewers at this point.
That's a good question.
But on the other hand, they're promoting this new Western Ransom Canyon. Have you seen the trailer?
I did, actually.
Yeah, it looks really good.
It looks great, yeah. It kind of reminded me of, Yellowstone meets Westworld with a little bit of Stranger Things thrown in.
I can see that. And over on Apple TV Plus, they're celebrating Severance.
Yeah, but it still hasn't, reached Squid Game level yet.
No.
Yeah.
But it's still a great show. Have you seen the latest season?
I haven't yet, no.
You should. It's really good. And there's this whole conversation online about the reintegration moment in episode 5.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no spoilers, but it's, mind-blowing.
I'll have to check it out.
You definitely should. So, you know how much I love nostalgia?
Oh, yeah.
Well, get this. There's a Legally Blonde series coming to Prime Video.
What? Really?
Yeah, I'm so curious to see who they cast as Ella's Woods.
Me too.
Big shoes to fill.
For sure.
So speaking of iconic characters, did you see that article about the ending of Captain America, Brave New World?
I did see that, yeah.
Again, no spoilers, but it sounds like Marvel's really switching things up.
Oh, yeah. Marvel loves to keep us guessing.
Right. Okay, so enough of the fun stuff. We got to talk about security.
Okay.
Because there's this YouTube security flaw that's, seriously scary.
What happened?
It exposed billions, yes, billions, of users' email addresses. It's a reminder that, no one is immune to these vulnerabilities.
It is. It's a good reminder to be super vigilant.
Definitely. And then there's this CAPI TCHA scam, which is hiding in PDF files.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's like, who would have thought those annoying little puzzles could be used to steal information?
It's like hiding a virus in a birthday cake.
It is. You never suspect it until it's too late. And then on top of that, there's this China-linked ransomware scam.
Oh, jeez.
It highlights, how these government-backed attacks are becoming more and more of a threat.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not just about stealing data anymore. It's about, causing real-world damage.
Yeah.
It's enough to make you want to, unplug from the internet altogether.
Yeah, sometimes I feel that way.
But before we all go off the grid, there is some good news.
Okay, good.
There's this giant mobile LED screen that's, mind-blowing.
What? How big are we talking?
It's almost half the size of an IMAX screen.
Whoa.
Imagine the possibilities.
I know.
Outdoor movies, esports tournaments.
Oh, yeah.
Godzilla-sized advertisements.
It's incredible what they're able to do.
It is. It really shows how far technology has come.
Ah.
But even with all these advancements, we can't forget about the downsides.
True.
The UK is demanding a backdoor into Apple's iCloud.
Oh, right.
And it brings up this whole debate about privacy versus security.
Right. Where do you draw the line?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a question we're going to be wrestling with for a long time.
So where were we? Oh, yeah. Privacy versus security. It's a tough one.
It is. And speaking of privacy, have you heard about this new Obscura VPN?
Obscura VPN.
Yeah, it's supposed to be next level.
Interesting. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, definitely worth looking into. And, while we're talking about, staying safe online,
yes,
Valve just put out a warning about a malware-infected Steam game.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it just shows you that, you got to be careful even on platforms you think are safe.
Absolutely. It's a digital jungle out there.
It is. But, hey, let's move on to some good news for a change.
Okay, I like good news.
How about a limited edition Apple Watch workout for Heart Month?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's a great way to, stay motivated and support a good cause.
And stay healthy.
Exactly. It's a good reminder that tech can be a force for good.
Yeah, for sure.
Not just, a source of stress and anxiety.
Definitely.
Okay, so switching gears a bit, let's talk about the smartphone world.
Okay.
There's some buzz that Galaxy S24 owners might have to wait a while for the One UI 7 update.
The waiting game. It's a familiar story for Android users.
It is.
Yeah.
And it kind of raises questions about, the whole fragmentation of the Android ecosystem.
Yeah, it's like waiting for a bus that never comes.
Exactly. And speaking of waiting, Garmin Fenix 7 users aren't too thrilled about the lack of updates for their devices.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're feeling a bit abandoned.
I can understand that. You invest in a premium device, you expect it to be supported.
Right. It makes you wonder how long companies should be expected to provide updates.
Yeah, it's a tricky balance.
It is. But hey, you're an Apple fan and you're looking for a deal, there's a refurbished M2 Mac Mini. It sounds pretty tempting.
Ooh, a deal.
Yeah, it's a good reminder that you don't always have to, empty your wallet to get some decent tech.
That's true. A good deal is always nice.
It is. But even bargain hunters need to be aware of the bigger picture. That ransomware attack on Unimicron.
Unimicron.
Yeah, they're a major component maker.
Oh, right.
And this attack could have, a ripple effect throughout the whole tech supply chain.
Yeah, that's a good point. We're all connected, even if we don't realize it.
Exactly. And speaking of connections, TikTok is back in app stores.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, which is sure to, reignite that whole debate about security and privacy.
It's a saga that never ends.
It doesn't. So let's move on to something a little less controversial.
Okay, good idea.
How about that massive patent infringement fine against WD?
$500 million. That's not chump change.
It's not. It'll be interesting to see how it affects them moving forward.
Definitely. Oh, but on a brighter note, did you see about the Gemini memory feature upgrade?
Yeah, it sounds pretty impressive.
I might actually have to give it a try now.
Nice progress. And speaking of progress, Microsoft Copilot Voice is expanding its language support.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's a win for accessibility and, global communication.
It's good to see those kinds of developments.
It is. But not all the news is sunshine and rainbows. Did you hear about Sophos cutting staff?
Oh, no, really?
Yeah, it's after that SecureWorks deal. It's a reminder that there's, a human cost to all these corporate mergers and acquisitions.
Yeah, it's easy to forget that sometimes.
It is. But it's important to remember that, behind the headlines, there are real people affected by these decisions.
Well said. So, circling back, what about the UK's decision to rename its AI Security Institute? They dropped safety in favor of cybersecurity.
Yeah, it's a subtle change, but it makes you wonder if they're shifting their focus.
Right. Like, are they moving away from the ethical considerations?
Exactly. It's like we're becoming desensitized to the potential impact of all this tech.
It's definitely something to think about.
It is. But on a more positive note, those new AI features for the Kindle Scribe sound pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, I saw those. They seem really useful.
Yeah, it's like tech that actually helps us be more creative and productive.
I like that.
Me too. So is it just me, or is everyone obsessed with superheroes these days?
Haha, seems like it.
Captain America, Brave New World might be hitting Disney Plus sooner than expected.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, the internet is buzzing.
Well, everyone loves a good hero story.
That's true. It's that classic battle between good and evil.
Right, and in a world that often feels chaotic, it's nice to believe that good will win in the end.
I agree. So, before we wrap things up, what piece of news from today's deep dive really stuck with you?
That's a good question. I think for me, it was...
That's a tough one. There's been so much to talk about.
I know, right? It's hard to choose.
It is. But I think for me, it was that whole thing about the UK wanting a backdoor into iCloud. It really makes you think about, like, where the line is between privacy and security.
Yeah, it's a tough one. And it's not going away anytime soon.
Definitely not. But hey, let's not end on a downer.
Agreed. What else have we got?
Well, have you heard about Assassin's Creed Shadows?
Shadows. Is that the new one?
Yeah, the pre-orders are going crazy. It's rivaling some of the biggest gains in the series.
Wow, that's impressive. Guess gamers are still loving Assassin's Creed.
It seems like it. And speaking of things that are hot, AMD is finally about to reveal its RX 9070 GPU.
Ooh, that's going to be interesting. I wonder how it'll stack up against the RTX 5070.
Yeah, it's going to be a battle for sure. It's good to see some healthy competition in the GPU market.
Definitely keeps things moving forward.
It does. But of course, not all the news is positive. Did you hear about that data breach at Zacks Investment?
Oh, no, really?
Yeah, it could potentially affect like 12 million users.
That's a lot of people. It just highlights, how important security is.
Yeah, and the responsibility these companies have to protect our data.
Absolutely. It's all about trust, and when that's broken, it can be really hard to get it back.
It can. And speaking of trust, there's also that privacy lawsuit against Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency.
Yeah, that one's a bit messy.
It is. Millions of people potentially impacted. It raises a lot of questions about how data is being used.
Definitely. It's a reminder that, as tech gets more advanced, we need to be having these conversations about ethics and privacy.
Right, we can't just blindly accept every new technology without thinking about the potential downsides.
It's like playing with fire. It can be powerful, but you got to be careful.
Exactly. Well, that about wraps things up for this deep dive.
Wow, we covered a lot.
We did. There was a lot to talk about. But hey, before we go, I want to hear from you guys. What piece of news from today's deep dive really got you thinking? Let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, we love hearing from you.
And of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this deep dive with all your techie friends.
We'll catch you next time with another roundup of all things tech.
Until then, stay curious.